Hey everyone, welcome back. John here, Sandhill Shooter. Today I want to maybe start a little bit of thought process in your mind, maybe open up some discussions that you might have with other people, maybe with myself too. I always like it when people put comments down below that make me think too about a lot of different things, including what I've said. So always feel free to post your comments down below and let me know what you think about the video. Also, I'll take this time real quick to remind you, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. And then hit that little bell and select all notifications so you'll know when these videos come out. And then don't forget to share this and hit that little thumbs up as well so that YouTube knows that you like what I had to say, or disliked what I had to say if it was a thumbs down. So, all right, what I want to talk about right now is mass shootings and how can we prevent them. You guys have heard me say a lot of things lately about red flag laws don't keep anybody safe. We can't stop due process. We can't remove people's freedoms that are guaranteed in the Constitution. You've heard me say a lot of things. So how can we prevent mass shootings? The short answer is we can't. We cannot prevent bad people from doing bad things. It's just not going to happen. Okay, that's the short answer. It's one that not everybody likes. In fact, I don't even like that answer. I don't like the fact that we can't stop it or we can't prevent it. But it's the fact of the matter. It's the truth. It is the way that people are. Okay, we're never going to stop bad people from doing bad things. In a country where we have almost as many firearms as we have legal citizens, we're never going to get them all out of here either. So banning them is not going to stop the people that don't obey the law. So we can throw that one out the window too. So why can't we prevent it? What's going on here? I've actually been thinking about this a lot. I think it's actually a combination of factors that have all kind of come together to create the perfect storm, if you will. And it's a lot of different things. I'm just going to touch on a couple of them here. But the first one is that no one's raising our children today. And as soon as I say that, I know a lot of you are going to think, well, I raise my kids. My kids have both parents in the house. You know, that's great, okay? Go back through history, especially recent history within the last 20 years, and the people that have committed mass shootings or public shootings at schools or different venues like that. Tell me how many of them actually grew up in a home that had both parents and they were taught right from wrong. Okay, it's not happening in so many homes today. Mom and dad both have to work. They're not home with the kids when they come home from school, or mom or dad is missing from the home. Okay, we're seeing this a lot. We're seeing a breakdown of family, and we're also seeing a breakdown of morals. And I don't think that the two are unrelated. So nobody's teaching today's kids what's right and what's wrong. They're learning everything about how to live from TV and the internet. And that's not necessarily the way to do things, okay? Kids need to be raised by parents, and I believe, and you can argue with me if you want to, that's fine, but I believe that kids need to be raised by a two-parent household. Having a mom and a dad in the house is proven to be a major factor in the way that people grow up. So that's one of our issues, is nobody's telling kids necessarily what's right, what's wrong. They're just kind of learning how to grow up on their own. Another issue that we're having because of this, partly, is that bullying is getting worse. Now, we all grew up with bullies in school, at camp, on the playground, whatever, right? But back in our day, you eventually got tired of it. You turn around, you punched the bully in the mouth, or you picked up a stick and you hit him, or whatever it was. But you told the bully that enough was enough, and then they quit, right? That is how you deal with the bully. You don't let them get away with stuff. But today, when kids get bullied, here's what happens. They get told, well, you can't fight. You're not allowed to hit anybody. You know, that's bad in society. And so the bully gets stern talking to and said, don't you be mean to that little child anymore. How's that going to help? It's not, okay? So kids feel bullied, kids feel alienated, kids feel separated from the herd and cast out of their society, whether it's school or their peer groups or whatever. And so they're just looking for some acceptance. Okay? That's also a factor here. They want to be somebody. They want to be known for something. We will not eliminate public mass shootings until we stop sensationalizing the crimes and the criminals that do it. Okay? The people that do this, they're flat out animals. There's no other way to say it. They're murdering scum. That's what they are. It doesn't really matter what the factors were that led up to the act. The act itself is heinous, it's terrible, and nobody should have to deal with the after effects of such a thing, okay? But we can try to prevent some of these factors from affecting so many kids, right? But we've got to stop plastering them all over the news, all over social media. We've got to stop naming them, okay? We've got to stop making the criminals into celebrities. Now, having said that, I'm not so sure that's possible. First of all, we already know that we cannot rein in mainstream media, right? We can't muzzle them because we have a constitution that says we can't. But at the same time, they're never going to stop reporting on the news. And part of what happened is who did it and why, if we know why. That's good journalism. And so we can't really expect the media to stop doing what we've wanted them to do on every other story. A bigger factor is we have always sensationalized outlaws in our country. This country was founded by outlaws. It was people that didn't want to obey the laws, obey the crown, did not want to be subjects anymore. They definitely didn't want to pay their taxes if they didn't get representation back in England. And so they rebelled against the government. They were outlaws, right? 3%er kind of has a little bit of an outlaw connotation to it. For those of you that don't know, 3% of American colonists fought in the Revolutionary War. So 3% of Americans threw the British out of the country. That is all it took. Only 3% of the people actually fought. So that means the 3%ers they kind of have that outlaw mentality. As we were settling our nation, we started sensationalizing, romanticizing even people like Billy the Kid. Gunfighters like Hickok, who I'm not so sure only shot people in self-defense. Wyatt Earp, huge name. Lots of stories, lots of movies been written about him and shot about him. Jesse James, Cole Younger, and the James Younger gang. How many movies have we seen about those guys? Billy Bonney, the Young Guns, those movies. All of these outlaws. They're household names to this day. People still know who they are because we made them famous as outlaws. This country has a fascination with people that don't obey the law. Even more recently, the TV show Sons of Anarchy. Why was that so popular? Because they didn't do everything by the law. We wanted to see if they were going to get away with it. Crime stories. We want to see if they're going to get away with it. We want to see how they get caught, right? It's not always the lawman, it's also the criminal that gets sensationalized and romanticized in these stories. Bonnie and Clyde in the 20th century, they made a movie about those two that starred Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway, two of the biggest outlaws that we had in our nation in the 20th century. Bad people, they did bad things. Sometimes for bad reasons, other times for no reason that anybody could tell. Okay? And the movie with Beatty and Dunaway actually was nominated for 10 Academy Awards. Because it was shot very well. It was acted very well. It was written very well. Directed. All that stuff, okay? But the point is that the movie about Bonnie and Clyde was one of the biggest things ever. Especially at the time. I believe it was 1967 that was released. As a culture, we still are a little bit outlaw. As a culture, American patriots have a mistrust of government, and outlaws aren't going away. So I don't know for sure if we have a ready solution for this. I'm not offering solutions right now. I just want you guys to think. I want you to comment, like, share, subscribe to the channel, do all that stuff. But just think about everything I said. We cannot prevent mass shootings. Not with the laws and the freedoms that we have in our country. And not with our history. And not with our love for the outlaw. The only option we have is to make ourselves safe. The only real option that I can see is for the government to stop restricting those of us who just want to keep ourselves and our families safe. And stop telling us where, how, or even if we have a right to self-defense. If you have a right to live, and we do as humans, then we have a right to be safe. If we have a right to be safe, then we have a right to keep ourselves that way. Plain and simple. And you cannot put restrictions on any of that. And our country was founded on those principles. All right. Let the comments flow. Let the discussion commence. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. We love you. God bless. Thanks for watching.